Feaver. I wish it would stop raining, but anyway, just check that out. Quite a bit of clay here, very slippery, bit of water on the inside of on the right hand side of the road. Hopefully they keep it to the left anyway.
I also would like to acknowledge a lot of other people that helped with this, particularly the Shire of Donnybrook and bailing up. And we have got so many other people, Champion Auto Glass, RMF, DCL, the Fleet Care, and so many other people, that, and Donnybrook Football Club, the Mighty Dons, and a lot of people have done a lot of that there. While we're just quickly here, we must acknowledge all the volunteers that have been out all this weekend. And like a lot of people, you've got to ask, why? Simply because, like you, they love the event. They've been out there, they have been getting frostbite, some of them it's wet, cold and miserable, and you know what, they'll all be out for the next event as well. Perhaps we could talk a little bit about the history, the great history of the safari. There's some people in this room will remember when it was called the Southwest Safari. 50 years ago, this event started at 10 a.m. in the morning. It actually, late time limit was 5:30 Sunday morning or daylight. So it went on just a little bit longer. It was in 4 divisions and the event was 900 miles. So it was a pretty tough, hard, fast event. And we had some great stages then. Probably one of the most legendary stages was Munro Towers. And I don't know, I saw Andy Van Can there earlier and Shane Seawood, they would well and surely remember Munro Towers. That was probably one of the greatest stages we've ever had in Western Australia, and it's got some very big trees, and I can tell you personally that if you hit them, they don't move. So anyway, it has been an event that has got so much history, a lot of nostalgia, and a lot of stories that get bigger and better at every event. So you're part of something that's part of West Australian rallying history just by being in the event. So I now please introduce Wendy Walker, your clerk of course.
I've got a microphone now. So, was I right about no dust?
Yeah, no dust. Wet fog though.
Just forgot to tell you about the puddles. So, I would also like to thank our WARC sponsor, ARC Plant Hire, and our Safari and Grimwade event sponsor, Fleet Care. And again, all of our other sponsors who have made this happen. Without you, as I said this morning, we wouldn't be able to do what we do, and I'd like to thank you for that. Yeah, it was a bit slippery out there. The event will be 60 years old next year, so it's number 59. We should have been 60 this year, but unfortunately we didn't run last year. So we lost our fame of being the longest running rally in the world, continuous. But still 60 years next year I think is a pretty good outcome. So I'd like to thank a few people. I'd like to thank all of our officials. Can't name them all, but I have a few that I would like to name, and that's my secretary and my assistant secretary. Phil Grocott was assistant this year. Georgie Helm, who's my little Energizer bunny and rabbit hole digger. Our Crow, who's another one being this year, was Neil Gerais. Greg Flood, who put out some fires, helped with the service part and was mentoring the Crow. Sam a lot, who does the monitoring of the cars so that we can see what's going on and have written down. But I have a new deputy this year, and Ashley Burton, and he has been absolutely exceptional. He's been out there sorting out fires, coming in, and then we've been sending him out again, and he's done an awful lot of work. So thank you, Ashley. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. Deirdre, who's probably still in Rally Base, she's working there really hard. Our service park people who are out there in the cold as well, as all of ours are at the moment. So I think I've probably said enough, but one, I'd like to also thank you guys for turning up and actually being at the presentation. It's actually nice that people take the time to come and celebrate and thank people. So thank you very much.
We're going to move straight into the two-wheel drive category. Third two-wheel driver, third two-wheel drive co-driver, Dave Thomas, Neve Nairn. Second two-wheel drive, driver and co-driver, Nick Fox, Caleb Ash. Winner two-wheel drive category, Safari Rally Grimwade 2005, Glenn Alcorn, Jonathan Charlson.
nice not to be the bridesmaid for once. What do you think, Nick?
So Glenn, just to come across for a moment, it must have been very, very trying a two-wheel drive out there.
Yeah, it was, I think, and a four-wheel drive was very trying. When it's two-wheel drive, it's extra bit of effort there. But yeah, and for us, the officials out there probably had the hardest job of the lot. Fair play to them for putting up with the elements and that there. But inside the car was pretty hectic today. Like she was taking off at times. You think you're on ice. I enjoy the wet, like, but you're a passenger a lot of the time there, like. But it was really good. It was challenging. We had our own troubles, and sure a lot of other people did, like. But I have two arms of me like an elephant's trunk at the moment. I had no power steering. The alternator went on stage 4, so I was lucky to get back to the finish. We were driving on the road like Ace Ventura with the head out the window, trying to follow the person in the car's front, their tail light. So yeah, the whole day was very tough for us, but great to get the better box once.
Third outright driver, third outright co-driver, Keith Hamilton, David Humphreys. Second outright driver, outright co-driver, Frank O'Shea, Murice O'Connor. First outright driver, first outright co-driver, Production Cup, Tim Hiles, Noah Humble. Production Cup winners, ladies and gentlemen.
No, you can swallow.
Come on over, Noah. It's your turn to represent the team and speak. No, it's your turn. Come on over. Must have been a lot of fun out there under very difficult conditions.
Oh yeah, it's definitely challenging. I didn't know it'd actually get that wet. They had first two stages of the day look like the best ones, but they turned out to be the worst ones. You know, the third stage was actually the most fun.
So what was it, a case of pretty much hanging on and going for a slippery ride?
Oh yeah, a lot of that. I don't think we actually spent most of the time actually on the road, but we got to the end.
Well done, guys. Congratulations.
Back into WA Rally Championship 2005 Fleet Care Safari Rally.
Third outright driver and co-driver, Dylan King, Lee Tierney. Second outright driver, second outright co-driver, Craig Rando, Scott Beckworth. Ladies and gentlemen, first outright driver, first outright co-driver, Peter Rulo, Ben Searcy. Gentlemen, your outright winners, 2025 Fleet Care Safari. Big word to you. It's actually quite a delight to see a sponsor, a major sponsor, because all too often we get people and we take their money, don't get me wrong. But we don't often, we don't often get sponsors come and talk to us, and you know, you're obviously looking after Peter and you come on board with Cat and that. What draws you to this sport?
Look, I've been involved in my earlier years, and you know, rally's just an exciting event, and I think it's so close to what people enjoy. It's great camaraderie. It's great out there in the service park, and we, as a team, we certainly like to sponsor the grassroots level, because every event we go to, you know, the majority of the competitors are, you know, locals. So that's what we.
Bit of a decision to kind of take a bit of a gamble on a set of tyres. So you know, we thought it was a bit muddy for the afternoon, and Lane said, "Oh, I've got these, you know, 8 or 10-year-old set of mud tyres. Do you want to try those?" And I said, "Well, let's give it a crack." And yeah, it was the right decision. But you know, I just want to say thanks to Jimmy, Ben, Nige, for you know, being in the silly seat in the car. But we actually came off in the last stage actually. So fortunately, we missed everything, and then we got back onto the stage and finished it. But no, look, congratulations to everyone who finished today's rally, because it was definitely treacherous out there today. Thank you.
As Nigel said, that they look after the grassroots competitors. So as a grassroots competitor, what's the difference between the Hyundai and the Skoda?
Look, the Skoda is definitely, I would call it, it's easier to drive. It's easy to get within the window. The Hyundai is more in the end. It's probably more like a difficult child.
Oh, you'd be used to dealing with that.
Definitely, 100%. Yeah.
Congratulations again, Peter, and it sort of gets you a lot more points for the state championship. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Rullo and Ben Tilsey.